What is love? I'm going to say some things that are probably going to make a lot of sense. If there's any doubt, you can look into it yourself. Just be open to the concept that what you think is love might not in fact be love, but something far less. Perhaps even something shameful and perverted. Love is a concept different to almost every person. For most people, love is seemingly impossible to define. Love is widely considered as the most valuable thing ever to exist, and because of that, love is put on a pedestal that almost everyone seeks to attain. Most people will say they love someone, perhaps forever, but over time, it changes and they might end up hating that person. Love is apparently a paradox. What if I was to tell you that 99% of people don't even remotely know what love is, but spend their whole lives blindly believing that they do, and dare anyone burst that bubble of their illusion, a convenient illusion at that, they become extremely offended. It happens every time. In modern English, the word love is deliberately vague. It's not the same as it used to mean. Just to give you an example, the word nice, it means something different now. What people believe it means compared to what it used to mean. And it used to mean foolish, ignorant, etc. The polar opposite of what it means now. https://www.edamonline.com/word/nice. In regards to love being such a vain word, imagine two people, Julie and John. Both Julie and John crave chocolate cake. John says he likes chocolate cake. Julie says she loves chocolate cake. When put in a scale of 100, John rates chocolate cake higher than Julie. But how can that be? Surely, like is a step below love, right? No, John and Julie are using two different words to describe the same thing. There's a significant overlap between like and love, because the definitions are so vague. Like is an insignificant appreciation for something. Love is a significant appreciation for something. But the level of comparative significance can be a world apart for two different people. When people use both like and love, they're aiming for a goalpost that sits in a different position for every person you meet. The modern English definition of love can really be summed up into a significant appreciation for someone or something. But when someone says that they love another person, they're trying to define something very different and vastly more significant than the appreciation of chocolate cake. They're trying to emulate something that they don't even fully understand, but hope to one day. So let's make it clear that before I go any further, when I say love, I'm talking about that one, rare, invaluable, immeasurable thing that almost everyone puts on the ultimate pedestal above everything else. But when people try to define that ultimate thing called love, they can't. And the more detail you get into, the more you find that everyone disagrees. And people will say one thing one day, and they will change it another day, as their experience grows and their perspective changes. It happens on a daily basis. So, everyone disagrees in the end. Love seems to slip through people's grasp like sand. It's something they're in perpetual pursuit of catching, or even just understanding. Sometimes they think they've caught it, only to find it slip through their hands just as quickly. So they put on an act for a while, and pretend they still love the person, and hope they can somehow find it again. And they will never know, not even knowing how they found it in the first place. Sometimes they do find it again, only to find it slips through their hand yet again. So what is this magical paradox called love? To make it easier, I'm going to explain the three types of relationship, and those are parasitic, symbiotic, and altruistic. A parasitic relationship is one of take. The parasite doesn't understand anything but what it wants. It simply takes what it wants through whatever means necessary, such as deception, oppression, and other forms of manipulation, with little or no regard for the one it takes from. A parasitic relationship is an exploitative relationship. This type of relationship belongs to creatures that are heading toward extinction, causing destruction to those around them. and bringing everything out of equilibrium. There's a small chance over time that a parasite can learn and evolve into a symbiotic relationship with others. Almost half of all human relationships are parasitic. Human parasites sometimes like to call it love, simply because they want. After all, one is a part of love, but parasites have it backward, and that's all they really have. Most parasitic relationships end with the destruction of both people in the relationship. But sometimes a parasite can find a new victim to leech off. Sometimes a parasite can spend their whole life jumping from one victim to another. On a rare occasion, a parasite can eventually learn. When they do, they start exploring the next level of relationship. Symbiosis. The focus of a parasite is take. A parasite is full of pride. A symbiotic relationship is one of shared and mutual gain. A symbiont understands that they have to give something to get something. A symbiont realizes that giving is for its own benefit. Symbionts are still parasites. They're just more. Symbiont relationships lead toward an equilibrium with others, protecting each other out of mutual interest. Almost half of all human relationships are symbiotic. That is declining now, as people are becoming more parasitic. It's very rare for a symbiont to realize they are still a parasite. Those that do, are on the verge of becoming altruistic. Most symbionts falsely believe that they're altruistic. Symbiotic relationships are the fence between parasitism and altruism. It's for people who play with both sides and sit on the fence, undecided. Symbionts usually stay symbionts, and very slowly move toward altruism. Before they die, the cycle repeats itself through their offspring. On a rare occasion, they go back into parasitism. On an even rarer occasion, they evolve into altruism. The focus of a symbiont is take. A symbiont is full of both pride and humility. An altruistic relationship is one of giving. An altruist fully understands both parasites and symbionts, and seeks to provide the best conditions for everyone to advance on a path to altruism. An altruist inspires others to better themselves, and sets a personal example. Very few human relationships are altruistic. Even fewer are mutually altruistic. Mutual altruism is the very bullseye that symbionts try to emulate without even realizing it. It's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But it's a trap, just like chasing a rainbow. So long as you seek to receive, you are running away from the very thing you are trying to catch. So you'll never catch it. An altruist very rarely goes back into symbiosis, and when they do, it takes extreme psychological trauma to achieve. It usually only works on newer altruists. A new altruist can still find themselves seeking symbiotic relationships due to automatic habits they have learned from their time as a symbiont. As an altruist matures, they develop new habits that replace the older, symbiotic ones. The focus of an altruist is give. An altruist is full of humility. To go over some basic differences between the three relationship types, a parasite looks upon others like a free meal up for grabs. The world is my oyster. First in, best dressed. A symbiont looks upon others like a potential investment. Let's make a deal. What can I get out of this? An altruist looks upon others like a crop to be planted and nurtured. Let me help you grow. How can I make you into a bigger and better person? A parasite will take everything and give nothing. A symbiont will give a little and expect a lot. An altruist will give everything and ask for nothing. A parasite has no care for love. A symbiont plays with the idea of love. An altruist lives by love. To know what love is, it helps to know what love isn't. Here are some common misconceptions about love. If you think that love is about sexual attraction, you're wrong. This is lust, a potentially dangerous primal instinct, a frequent indulgence of parasites. If you think that love is about how someone makes you feel, you're wrong. This is self-interest, pretending to be love, but really using someone else as a tool for self-gratification, and reinforcing your self-made illusions. It usually exists within the lower regions of symbiosis. If you think that love is about having power over someone, you're wrong. This is a destructive form of parasitism, and often preys on altruists. If you think that love is about expectations and obligations, you're wrong. This is a dangerous game played by both symbionts and parasites. If you think that love is about a mutual agreement, you're wrong. This usually exists within the central region of symbiosis. If you think that love is about sharing and caring, you're wrong. This is a meme game played by most symbionts, as they play with the concept of love. I could give you examples all day. The point is, what people usually think is love, isn't love. And it's often something very destructive. But to tell someone that, they are going to go ape shit at you. Of course. You just offended them at their very core. You challenged them at their very foundation, and showed them that what they hold most dear is nothing more than a pile of dog shit that they previously thought was a crown of jewels. The easiest person to fool is yourself. Most people spend their whole lives living a lie, wasting all their energy on casting and maintaining illusions in the pursuit of comfort and a sense of importance. How dare someone burst their happy little bubble? But, is living a lie really worth it? What's the point in being alive if you're never going to deal with what's real? For a lot of people, feeling good in the moment is all they care about. Though most of them will never admit it. But when people do that, it's no different to cutting the bottom out of a cup, and trying to fill it with water. You might feel a false sense of fullness for a brief moment. But as soon as the tap stops, you're going to feel completely empty, straight away. And then you fall into a perpetual trap of living a lie, trying to feel good, trying to patch up that hole with illusions and pretend instead of actually filling up the cup. And you fill up the cup by bettering yourself, for real. It takes a lot of courage to cast aside a lifetime of self-made illusions, and start dealing with reality. But in the end, it's the only way you can ever progress and grow as a person. So when an altruist bursts your bubble, understand that they do it out of love, for your own sake. If you're going to deal with love, do it for real. Love isn't a status symbol of convenience. It doesn't stand for, oh, look at me. I must be better than you and very important because someone loves me. Love isn't something to show off. Love isn't a ring you wear in your finger, or a necklace you wear around your neck, or a crown you wear on your head. Love is a heavy burden you wear on your back, and it doesn't come off, even when you're in the shower or trying to sleep. There's nothing convenient about it. It's always an inconvenience. It's the ultimate self-sacrifice, a choice made out of free will, a choice remade every moment of every day. A choice made with absolute conviction and no regret. The path from parasite to symbiosis to altruist isn't just a social phenomenon. It's an evolutionary thing. It's the pathway of destiny within all life. It's the road that all life travels along, and very few make it. Most mammals are capable of altruism to a small degree. Altruism even exists at a base level of instinct. You can see it in parental instincts. You can see it when a male duck sacrifices its life to protect its ducklings. In humans, they have the same instincts and imprinted behavior as most other animals. Just more of it. These instincts and imprinted behaviors are like the spark that ignites a symbiont into an altruist. You have to get high enough up in symbiosis, and in the right conditions for the spark to happen. It's not something that easily happens. Natural selectone will always lead to altruism, if it survives parasites on its journey through symbiosis. An altruist is a highly evolved creature that has sprouted to life on a whole new level. An altruist is to a symbiont, as a tree is to a rock. That's how big the difference is. The greatest relationship is between two altruists, with a dedicated focus of love toward each other. The second greatest relationship is between an altruist and a symbiont on its way to becoming an altruist. The worst type of relationship is between an altruist and a parasite. The second worst relationship is between a symbiont and a parasite. And of course the impossible relationship is between two parasites. I am an altruist. I always have been. Ever since I was born, I love every creature, according to its altruistic potential through the journey of symbiosis. When I look at other people, I don't see a free meal up for grabs. I don't see a potential investment. I see a potential to give. I see a tree. I see all the branches of what they could have been. I see the branches of what they could be now. I see the branch they did become. And I seek to help that branch make the most of its potential of becoming an altruist. I don't expect most people to understand what love is. And it offends most people that they don't know what love is. They are offended that someone would even say that. But it's the truth. Most people believe that love should not be shared. That it is a limited resource that needs to be exclusive, else it takes away from those you do love. That loving everyone, even the worst person in the world, makes my love for them meaningless. And yet, I love them more than they could possibly imagine, in an exclusive and unique way. If you consider all people like an entire field of crops, their love is like a watering can that you pour over only the people you choose. They would see me as throwing water evenly over everyone, indiscriminately. But real love is like a fountain with an endless supply. I throw water over everyone, according to their potential. But I also throw extra over those I'm close to. And whether they grow or not, I will still keep watering them, just in case. It's not that love is too complex to understand. It's very simple. People are just too blinded by their self-made illusions.